All right, we are ready to go here at the Stroh Center. Game number 2, this one between the Northern Kentucky Norse and the DePaul Blue Demons. Two teams faced off earlier. That was Western Kentucky against DePaul. And Western Kentucky will be in an action later tonight against the host Bowling Green Falcons. But for the Norse and the Blue Demons, they are ready to go. Again, we mentioned DePaul playing one game earlier today. And an interesting thing about both these teams, they're looking for their first win of the season. Both teams off to an 0-4 start. DePaul going to get the serve first. Jill Presley back with the serve. Good receive there from Anna Burke. Attack into the back row. DePaul gets a chance to return. Norse going to do the same once again. And the point's won by Riley Briggs. Briggs was one of the high point scorers for the Norse yesterday during their match last night against Bowling Green. That was the first match of the Hampton Inn Invitational being hosted at Bowling Green this week. Serve there from Burke. Blue Demons return. Burke goes to the ground to get it. There's an attack right in the middle. Good pancake there. Norse back on the attack through the block. Underneath of it was Rachel Krasowski. And a good volley here. Up front, overpass, but it comes all the way to the ground. The point will go to DePaul. So back and forth right away with the first 2 points of the set. That'll put back the junior, Rachel Krasowski, to serve. Across, Burke underneath of it. Set pass into the middle. And Sequoia Hunt was blocked at the net. And we mentioned both these teams looking for their first win. Somebody's going to get it here today. Krasowski over again into the back row. Brinkman was underneath of it. There's another attack. Joy Banks wins the point. That'll give the serve back to the Norse. Tori Houston in. Houston, a service error into the net with the right hand. Now DePaul going to make a change. Ashley Kudiamat. Serve into the back row. There's a strong attack put down hard from Abby Kanakri. Kanakri was another player for the Norse that had a lot of attacks in their first match of the tournament. Serve there from Lillian Lanier. An attack there from Kindleberger into the net. Didn't come across, so back and forth we go here early on in the stages of set number 1. Lanier again, left side of the floor. Strong attack down the line. Taylor Underwood battles back for DePaul. Underwood to serve, that one across. Burke underneath of it, up front. Both players touch it at the net. Houston set it over the net. Burke underneath it once again. There's an overpass. DePaul going to get a chance to make something here. The attack, though, it goes long. Presley got the hand to it, but just couldn't keep it in the lines. They'll have a conversation. And the officials are going to change the ruling. It'll be a point DePaul. They'll keep the serve. Underwood once again. Just over. Burke down to it. Set pass to the outside. Attack long from Brinkman. Underwood trying to build a cushioned lead for DePaul early on. Back and forth till about the 9th point. But that one sent long, so right back to it. Back and forth. Sequoia Hunt across. Grozowski got underneath of it. Good attack at the net that time. Allie Kindleberger. So now Kindleberger back, 7-5 DePaul. Across, out of the back, it's Burke. Towards the front. Abby Kanakri again. Katie Yopko in and back to serve. Over the net, into the back row, set pass there. And Allie Sifke just fanned on it as she went up. Timing just not there for Sifke. Maggie Jones, the sophomore, serving for the Blue Demons. Attack goes long, so she'll get to do it again. Maggie Jones from Cincinnati, Ohio, transferred to DePaul from NC State. Down the line, the attack was just outside the line. So Jones going to get to try to keep it rolling, but not before Northern Kentucky calls it, and we'll be right back. Back here coming out of the timeout, Maggie Jones will continue to serve. We'll see if Liz Hart's timeout on the other side for Northern Kentucky can get the old coach's point here and get Northern Kentucky to serve back. Jones into the back row. Norse going to be able to return down the line. It was out. So the timeout does not work the way the Norse had hoped. And Jones will get to continue to reside behind that back line. Jones up and over once again to the back to Burke it goes. Set to the outside. Brinkman tried it. DePaul going to have to return. They do in a big way. Bailey Nelson. Jones once again trying to keep it rolling. Set pass outside, and it's out once again. And the attacks from Brinkman have been right near the line, and they just have not been able to keep them in. So now just like that, it's a 7-point Blue Demon lead, 13-6. Jones continuing to serve, and it's a service ace. And talk about building momentum. Indeed, they have. They're going to force the Norse to call another timeout. Back here on Bill Frack Court, a 14-6 Blue Demon lead over the Northern Kentucky Norse. And our at-home color analyst today, Samantha Momire, recovering from being sick. She was supposed to be here today, but she's helping us out from home. She said one of the things that she's looking for as she's watching the broadcast, similar to all of you folks at home, she's looking for more communication. Both teams struggling defensively. So that's one thing that she's going to be keeping an eye on going forward. Good return there by Northern Kentucky. Ball still at the net. Played over, free ball right into the heart of the defense. But I believe a net violation called, and the point goes to the Northern Kentucky Norse. So maybe a little bit of a break there since Anna Brinkman back to serve. Joe Presley's going to come over and have a conversation, as well as head coach Marie Zidek. And the conversation continues. And a couple of back and forths from Joe Presley there, but the ball will stay with the Norse. Across into the back row, set pass right up front. Presley going to try the attack and right into the block. And just like that, back goes the ball to the Blue Demons. Presley back to serve. Across, right to the back row. Set pass from Yapko, across. DePaul a chance to return off the block, out of play. It was a nice job by Taylor Underwood that time. Took the right angle off the block, tooled it out of play. And DePaul a chance here to build that lead to double digits. Nice attack from Joy Banks. Blue Demons able to get underneath of it. They return it, and the Norse can't keep it alive. It's now a double-digit lead for DePaul here early, 17-7. So Presley back to serve once again. And right off the hands of Anna Burke, back into the far end bleachers it went. And the DePaul bench is loving it. Here goes Presley again. At Brinkman. Attack there from Riley Briggs. All the way forward. Other side, Taylor Underwood played it across. Returned again in strong swing from Anna Brinkman out of the back row. That'll put Anna Burke back to serve. As her team trails by 10 points here in set number 1. Service error, it went long, out of play. The Norse attack percentage in the negatives right now. They'll need to turn that around moving forward. A strong swing there, Riley Briggs. We talked about their 3 top attackers from yesterday at the beginning. Anna Brinkman, Riley Briggs, Abby Kanakri. And Riley Briggs starting to get things cooking. On the swing that time. Tori Houston going to serve now. Houston across into the back. Presley underneath of it. Attack goes right at Burke and out of play. So the Blue Demons are going to enter the red zone 5 points away from a set 1 victory. Ashley Kudiamat played across. Underneath of it was Brinkman. And the attack lands in from Sequoia Hunt. Lillian Lanier trying to put together a run with their team down 10 points here in the first set. Set pass across into the block and right down to the floor. The newly designed floor here at the Stroh Center on the campus of Bowling Green. A brand new floor put in this past off season. Mallory Heiser, the designer. No let up for the Blue Demons. 3 points away, 12 points in front of the Norse. Taylor Underwood into the back. Brinkman was under it. She'll play it across. Attack into the back row. Lanier was there. Returned by the Norse. Blue Demons a chance to do the same, but the attack well long of the back line. Both teams going to make some changes. Lucy Cluxton just over the tape. Right back at Cluxton. Forward, outside, attack from Brinkman, halted at the net, but they lost track of the ball, did the Blue Demons. It fell to the floor, and the Norse trying to rally here late. Cluxton once again right over the tape. Attack into the block, out of play. Grace Brooker. Kindleberger back to serve now, 2 points away from taking set number 1. Across into the back row. Towards us here at the commentary table. And off the tip. The Norse hanging around. Yapko back, serves across. Underneath it was Nagy. And the Norse, another big block at the net. Allie Sifke in there with Anna Brinkman. Yapko again with a serve across. There's the attack. And they'll say it was tipped. So set point coming up here for the Blue Demons. Maggie Jones, who had that long serving run earlier. Chance to win it. Right at Burke. They'll return via Brinkman across. And the point goes to DePaul. And maybe the Norse thought about a challenge, but that will do it. Set number one goes to the DePaul Blue Demons. The final score 25-14. We'll take a break and we'll be back coming up next for set number two. Back here, we head to set number two between DePaul and Northern Kentucky. DePaul took set number one by double figures. The teams have switched sides, and we'll get ready to go here again. The Blue Demons look strong in set number 1. Again, we talked before the game, both these teams looking for their first victory of the season. DePaul 1 set closer. Northern Kentucky, they'll have to battle back. Tori Houston starts with a serve into the back row. Krasowski underneath it at the front. Sifke got it over. Again, there's an attack into the back from Taylor Underwood. Norse return. Underwood got a piece of it, but on the way out, as it carried into the back bleachers, Northern Kentucky will get it started just how they would have hoped for here in the second set. There's Houston again, into the back. Krasowski underneath of it. There's a long attack off the fist to Bailey Nelson. Down the line, Burke gets underneath of it. The whistle going to be blown, double contact the call. And that'll give DePaul the serve right back in their favor. Jill Presley going to trot to the baseline. Presley, a service error into the net. And the Norse, a much different start here in the second set that they had in the first. Lanier across, just caught a piece of the tape. It carried over at the front of the net. The overpass played back hard by Taylor Underwood. Rachel Krasowski back. Serve knuckled down quickly, a service ace for Krasowski. Krasowski once again, this one into the net. Same thing again, the ball just dove too early before it could make it across. Sequoia Hunt now on the other side. A line drive serve right across the tape. Krasowski underneath it. Underwood will have to play it over. Strong attack coming. And a strong attack in Anna Brinkman. And now it's the Norse bench that's pumped up. Played across toward the back. Presley got in front of it. Attack there. Norse have it. Returned through the block. Abby Kanakri. A turn of the tide here to start set number 2. Sequoia Hunt into the back. Presley in front of it again. Up front at the net. There's a strong swing. Allie Kindleberger. Kudiamont back in. She'll serve once again. Over and across, returned by Brinkman. Presley was underneath it. Attack from Underwood. Burke on the other side. Brinkman's going to go at it again. Underneath of it was Krasowski. Houston sets up in the middle. Northern Kentucky tried to loft it into the defense. Kept alive off the head of Grace Brooker. Strong volley here. Both teams still going back and forth. Brooker tries again into the back. Lanier underneath of it. Houston, the set pass. Tipped over the net by Underwood. Tried to sneak it across. Still in the middle, Krasowski underneath of it again. Underwood back off the block, and finally DePaul a long point, but they win it. And for the 5 or 6 back and forth that we had there, textbook volleyball from both sides. The volleys like that you love to see. But Kudiamat serves across again to start the next point. Underneath of it. Now Presley all the way across the overpass. Sent down hard by Abby Kanakri. Northern Kentucky still holding a 2-point advantage, 7-5 here over the Blue Demons. Yapko got it started. Underwood's going to return and just saw the back corner empty. And Underwood with excellent placement. Underwood the serve into the back row, up front, over the block. Kudiamat got under it. There, Krasowski got under it. Underwood comes out of the back. There's Underwood again. Kudiamat, swing from Presley off the block. It came right back to Underwood. There's an attack. Allie Kindleberger. And an argument going to be presented here from Northern Kentucky. They want the carry. And they may have had a legit argument there, but it'll stay with DePaul. Underwood over, Presley right back over. And off the block, tipped on a play. The Norse will maintain their lead. Julia Nagy in. Anna Brinkman back across the net. Nagy went right after it. Presley tries to poke it into the back corner, and it works effectively. Touched not once but twice by Yapko and Brinkman, but then it fell to the floor. Third person not in the area. Kindleberger to serve. The score was even, but not anymore. Service error. Northern Kentucky not ready to give up that lead just yet. Anna Burke with the serve. And Caitlin Oxley maybe didn't hit it in the right spot on her hand, but the same result. Got a piece of it lower on her arm. Into the block it went, and DePaul got the point. So here's Maggie Jones, the sophomore, once again. Right at Joy Banks. Strong swing that time from Riley Briggs. And when Briggs has had her chances tonight, she has looked good with the attacks. Briggs with 3 kills right now. Tori Houston across. Presley was the first one underneath of it. Joy Banks going to return. That time it was Jones. Double contact called. Point awarded to Northern Kentucky. Houston again across. Krasowski underneath of it. Big attack from Presley. Jill Presley hung in the air and got every piece of that ball. Presley with the serve into the back. Brinkman was underneath of it. Into the block, and the block stands tall. Underwood and Oxley once again. $11-all. And again, just when DePaul has evened things back up and they've had a chance to take control of the set, something like that has happened. A service error from Presley gives the advantage back to the Norse. Lanier to Presley. Set up there by Jones, and it works out. Caitlin Oxley, a 6'4" freshman, earned the last point for her team. Northern Kentucky, just like that, they bounce back. Brinkman right now, 6 kills for Northern Kentucky. Service error out of the hands of Sequoia Hunt. (13-13). Kudiamont over with the right hand. Ball dove into the front row. And the Norse, again, they have not given up the lead. DePaul has tied it, but that has been the closest they can come to the lead right now in set number 2. Very back and forth. Katie Yapko back now for the black and yellow. Across, sent forward. A long swing, point goes to Northern Kentucky. Kindleberger left it just a bit long that time. Yapko gonna go after it once again. Overpass, and they're right up front. Allie Sifke wasn't gonna let that one get by. Northern Kentucky back to a 3-point lead. Timeout called by the DePaul Blue Demons. We'll step aside. We'll be right back. Back here, a 16-13 lead for the Northern Kentucky Norse over the DePaul Blue Demons. Northern Kentucky, they got out to an early lead. They haven't relinquished it yet here in the second set. We'll see if they can do it wire to wire. Yapko back to serve. Up front, the Blue Demons are blocked at the net. Presley tries again. Again, the block was there. Underwood into the back row. It comes across, kept alive, but that's 4 touches. So the serve goes back to DePaul. Taylor Underwood serving now. She's got 6 kills already through a set and a half. Set pass there on the outside. Brinkman came flying in, but the block held tight. Again, DePaul's block wins him the point. Underwood into the back row, diving for it with Lillian Lanier. And just unable to put it in the air high enough for one of her teammates to get to it. So just like that, timeout going to be called by Northern Kentucky. We're tied once again, 16 apiece. Back here inside the Stroh Center following the Northern Kentucky timeout. DePaul going to get the serve, a chance to take their first lead here in the second set. Taylor Underwood. Across, Burke underneath of it. Set pass all the way across. And indeed, double contact called. So DePaul, their first lead here in set number 2. Double contact was called on Yapko. Underwood once again towards the back corner. Burke forward, across from Briggs. A light contact at the net there from Kindleberger. Not light contact there, very much so heavy. Riley Briggs seals it inside the back corner. $17-all, so tied up once again. That's been the story for a large portion of the match. Back and forth we've bounced with Northern Kentucky in front. DePaul got out front a moment ago, but a lot of this set has been played at an even score. Almost an overpass. Both teams touched it at the net. And there's the swing. Nice job there from Briggs and Yapko. Back-to-back kills now for Riley Briggs. Takes her total to 5. 18-17, Norse on top. And Krasowski took a bad angle on it. Out of play it went. The Norse now up by 2. Anna Brinkman Right at Krasowski. Presley with a big swing. Off Brinkman. Burt goes over to get it. Parallel with the table. Strong return from Northern Kentucky, but that one, strong attack from Grace Brooker. Burke couldn't handle it. (19-18) Norse on top. Phoenix Lee in for the first time for the Blue Demons. Right at Joy Banks. Up front. Set pass to Presley, and she just tipped it over the block. I don't think we've seen Jill Presley do that yet today. It's been strong attack after strong attack, and she used it to her advantage there to draw the score back even at 19. Lee with the serve once again. At Burke. Yapko. And that one finds its way in front of the back line. Riley Briggs once again. 20-19. Anna Burke into the back. Julia Nagy. Attack from Presley, blocked at the net. And the point goes to the Norse. So Burke gonna get the serve once again. 2-point lead for Northern Kentucky. Presley at the net. Oxley got the point. (21-20). Maggie Jones to serve once again. Brinkman, Yapko, Briggs. Jones underneath of it. Kuraszowski. Attack there from Bailey Nelson. Joy Banks gonna try her hand at the attacks. Jones underneath of it. Again, at the net, it was Bailey Nelson. This side, it's gonna be Presley. Point goes to DePaul. Liz Hart gonna challenge the call. An important spot right now, as right now the score stands 21-21. So the point is going to stay with the Blue Demons. Liz Hart getting the explanation now. But the score going to stay at 21. And the way this set has been played, you wonder now, will this be decided in the next 4 points for someone, or will we have extra serves? And the music was still playing loud over the speakers here inside the Stroh Center. The ball will go back to Jones, so she'll have to do it again. Into the back, Joy Banks there. At the front of the net, guess who? Riley Briggs again. Riley Briggs has taken over in set number 2. Tori Houston. Across, Kurazowski. It's tipped on the way out by Presley. Northern Kentucky out in front by 2. Timeout, Blue Demons. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back. Back here from the Stroh Center, Tori Houston with the serve. Northern Kentucky 2 points out in front of DePaul right now. DePaul has a 1-0 advantage right now. Northern trying to even it back up, and they're 1 point closer. Set point for the Norse. Abby Kanakri. Jason Rappelt talking with some of the Norse girls. Rappelt and Matt Kearns, also members of the coaching staff. Rappelt, the associate head coach, Kearns, the assistant. Houston across. Set up at the net. Presley played it lightly over. The Norse takes set number 2. We will switch sides once again. We're back even 1 set apiece between the DePaul Blue Demons and the Northern Kentucky Norse. Well, here we go inside the Stroh Center. Brandon Lowe back with you. Set number 3 here between the Northern Kentucky Norse and the DePaul Blue Demons. We're tied 1 set apiece. DePaul took the first set in dominating fashion. Northern Kentucky battled but took set number 2. Both teams still looking for their first win. DePaul gets the point to start here in set number 3. Jill Presley back to serve. Right at Burke. Houston up front. Double contact called. And going back to the stats after the first 2 sets, both teams, their leading attacker, they had 2 of them. Brinkman and Briggs for Northern Kentucky tied at 7 kills apiece. And on the other side, Jill Presley, Taylor Underwood both had 6. Jill Presley over into the back row. Joy Banks. Banks with a big swing. Kurzowski. Presley went diving after it, but just couldn't get there in time. So Banks gets the kill. Lanier back across. Kurzowski off an awkward spot on the hands. It falls to the floor. A service ace. Lanier once again. Out of play, another point to Northern Kentucky. And ever since the break after the first set, Northern Kentucky has looked like a different team. Lillian Lanier went at Presley down the line. They're calling it a point for DePaul. And now the official will call everyone over. Discussion continues. Point Northern Kentucky. And now they're going to review the play. So a discussion not going to be enough. We'll have to wait one more time to get the official ruling. So after the review, the point goes to DePaul. Rachel Krasowski wanted to make sure it was her serve before she went back. Indeed it was. Across, Burke underneath of it. At the front, there's Houston. Set pass to Brinkman. Brinkman again over, and Presley very frustrated as it appeared like Bailey Nelson got baited forward and maybe pulled out of position. Sequoia Hunt now to serve for the Norse. A 4-3 lead. Krasowski, Jones, across, Taylor Underwood once again. Kudiamont now to take over the serve for DePaul. Does so, Brinkman returns. Taylor Underwood into the back row, Burke. It'll come forward to Brinkman. Krasowski under it. Presley across. Kanakry was underneath of it. Try to swing. Burke gets it across. Northern Kentucky stays alive, but down it goes. Lanier had to go all the way diving to her left side. And it'll register as a kill for Allie Kindleberger. Kudiamont again into the back row. Lanier had some trouble with it, but Allie Kanakry did not. (5-5) in the early stages of set number 3. Katie Yapko across. Set into the middle. Burke keeps it alive. Kudiamont. Back and forth. Point one by Riley Briggs. Yapko continues. And a big block at the net. And the Norse are all pumped up for Anna Brinkman. Brinkman, Briggs, and Sifke at the net right now. Yapko across, Presley in the back. Kudiamont, some miscommunication up front there. DePaul still able to return. Briggs once again, it's called long. Northern Kentucky thought maybe Lidshart would challenge. It's not going to be the case. So Taylor Underwood will serve. Underwood across, into the net. Touched across by Lanier. Big swing there from the left-hander, Grace Brooker. Into the block and out of play. Point Blue Demons. Brinkman back on the attack. And it has been the double B combo right now for Northern Kentucky. Brinkman and Briggs, 15 kills between the two. Brinkman serves across. Presley to return. It's called in. Anna Burke was right there. Raised an eyebrow, but back to Kindleberger for the Blue Demons. Yapko sets up Joy Banks. Kindleberger unable to handle it. The back and forth continues. Anna Burke played over. Grace Brooker answers back. A 6'2" freshman from Georgetown, Kentucky, and she's left-handed. So although she's playing on the right side right now, a dangerous player when she's back across on the left. Megan Jones across, Banks underneath of it. Yapko back to Banks, blocked at the net, but out of play. Point Norse. And DePaul going to go ahead and challenge the call. And then once again, we'll get the official review. We'll step aside. After the review, the point will stay with Northern Kentucky. And some more from our at-home color commentary. Samantha Momeyer, you won't be able to see her, you won't be able to hear, but she is joining us. She'll be with us for the later game as well. She said the Northern Kentucky block has gotten a lot better. Their timing is down, their hands are a lot tighter, and that's allowed them to capitalize. And evidently, we've seen the capitalization over the last two sets. They're out in front here in set number 3, and they won the last set. A service error there long from Tora Houston. Jill Presley back to serve. The Bowling Green Falcons in the house as they get ready for their game that'll take place 19 minutes after this one. Brinkman gets it across. Nice job there. And into the net. And it'll go against Northern Kentucky. So a little premature celebration. Presley to serve once again. Brinkman out of the back row. Houston sets up Sequoia Hunt. Tied once again, this time at 11. Lillian Lanier was on the serve. Houston gets underneath of it. Burke forward. Tipped back down. Burke will have to just bump it across. Down into the middle of the floor from Bailey Nelson. DePaul back to a 1-point lead. Krasowski. Brinkman tries to go through the block, but this time it's the DePaul block that tightens up. Neither team has really had momentum since back in the first set. Northern Kentucky will call a timeout. They'll try to rally some momentum here. Back here coming out of the timeout. DePaul a 2-point lead, 13-11. Northern Kentucky trying to turn the tide with a timeout called by Liz Hart. Hart in her 13th season with the Northern Kentucky volleyball program. Krasowski across, Brinkman underneath it. Houston back to Brinkman, blocked at the net. And once again, Bailey Nelson and Allie Kindleberger. Krasowski across, Burke underneath, forward to Houston, set pass backwards, in. Abby Kanakri, the redshirt senior from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. Sequoia Hunt at Underwood. Presley now back to Underwood. Hunt got a piece of it. Across from Houston. Maggie Jones with a set pass. And out of play long. The Blue Demon lead shrinks to 1. Hunt, Presley, Jones. And blocked at the net. Anna Brinkman. Along that time. 15-14 DePaul. A winner will not be determined this set. We're tied at 1 right now. And back and forth it's been since the very first set. Kudiamat across. Houston sets up Sifke. And they get the point. Katie Yapko across, Presley there. Kudiamat across to Underwood, into the block. Brinkman underneath of it. She's going to get it back for the attack. Kudimont again sets up Presley. Yapko to Brinkman, into the block. Krasowski underneath of it, into the net. Northern Kentucky take the lead. Yapko sends it long, even again. Underwood into the tape, down into the hands of Burke. Yapko sets up Briggs. Came right back off the dig. Briggs again down the line, but out of play. And a little momentum developing for DePaul, as Briggs has been strong when she's had that look tonight. Underwood across, long. The seesaw effect here between Northern Kentucky and DePaul, both teams battling for their first win of the season. Anna Brinkman. Kudimont sets up. Grace Brooker. The block was there, but rendered ineffective. Phoenix Lee comes in once again. She made her first appearance in set number 2, back here in set number 3. Right at Burke. Yapko. Briggs the swing. Burke down to get it. A couple of players there for Northern Kentucky before they get it back over. Set pass. Brooker in the back. Brinkman was right there. Joy Banks. Kudimont. Presley. It finds hardwood. DePaul gets back out to a 2-point lead, 19-17. Timeout going to be called. The Blue Demons at 2-point lead. When we come back, we'll be back for the remainder of set number 3. Back here coming out of the timeout, the Blue Demons a 2-point lead over the Northern Kentucky Norse. Phoenix Lee back to serve for the Blue Demons. Across, Burke, Yapko. Briggs went at it. Presley now tips it over the block. Excellent job by Yapko to go down and get it before the NKU return. Over the net, Briggs kept it alive. Into the back corner. It caught the line. Northern Kentucky gets the point. Anna Burke now back to serve. In the net, the block was there. 19-19. When we've strayed away from the tie, it hasn't been won by more than 2 points. That time into the net, back to DePaul's side we go. Maggie Jones back to serve. DePaul in the red zone, 5 points away from a set victory. But Northern Kentucky nipping at their heels. Jones to Banks, across, kept alive by the foot of Krasowski. Out of play, off the block. DePaul gets the point. And while inadvertent, very impressive there. Krasowski just caught that one with her right foot in between the floor. And that was impressive. It happens occasionally, but not very often does it work out as it did there for the Blue Demons. And here's another look at it. Right off the front of the foot of Krasowski. Right there. The officials taking a look at it, but indeed it was clean. And right there, Presley put it right into the hands of Sequoia Hunt, and out of play it went. So this is going to stay a DePaul point. And you see the energy there from Marie Zidek. Official taking another look at it, and he's going to see the same thing that you guys just saw at home. And that's going to stand as a DePaul point. Northern Kentucky awaits as they talk things over. The coaching staff, Liz Hart, Jason Rappelt, Matt Kearns. On the other side for DePaul, the coaching staff, Marie Zidek, Adriano De Souza, Maddie Beal, and Blake Lesson. The official has his decision. He'll tell the scoring table parallel from us. And it will stay as a point for DePaul. Maggie Jones back once again. Joy Banks. Riley Briggs down to the floor, kept alive, but not long enough. (21-20). DePaul. The difference a point.
Over to Andrews. She snaps it down. Bowling Green again. They lead by 16 in set number 45.
Torrey Hunt across. It will not be returned. And if you can believe it, we're tied once again. It seems repetitive, but that's because it has been. Houston across into the back row. Nagy maybe would like that one back as it looked like it was going long up front. Kanakri. Banks into the block, and it falls on the Blue Demons side of the floor. The last touch by Bailey Nelson. Timeout going to be called by the Blue Demons. They find themselves down on the scoreboard 22-21. Northern Kentucky on top. Back here, Tori Houston to serve. Northern Kentucky on top of DePaul by 1 as we near the conclusion of set number 3, tied 1 set apiece to the point. Houston into the back. Krasowski right there. Set pass across from Jones to Presley. Now the other side, Joy Banks with the attack off the tape. DePaul able to play it back over. Sequoia Hunt tried to drop it in, but just out. 22-22 now. Presley, now Banks. Burke keeps it alive. At the net, it's blocked. Jones will set it across to Taylor Underwood, who puts it down, out of play. Northern Kentucky, a 1-point lead. That'll send Lillian Lanier back. Lanier over, Presley underneath. Jones sets across, off the block. Underwood evens it back up. The scoreboard shows 23s. Rachel Krasowski now. Right to Burke. Outside, Hunt. Right at Maggie Jones. Advantage, Sequoia Hunt. Northern Kentucky has set point. If not, we'll play extra serves. Hunt across. Presley, Jones. Tipped over the block, into the floor it goes. Indeed, we'll have extra serves here after Bailey Nelson sneaks one over. It was bound to happen at some point, the way the last 2 sets have been played. Ashley Kudiamont. Over, Burke, Houston, Brinkman. Slammed home. Again, it'll be set point for the Norse. Katie Iapko will take control of the serve. Presley forward, right in the middle of the floor on the attack from Kindleberger. Underwood and Brinkman, both with 10 kills. Underwood serving now for the Blue Demons. Played over, Burke, Iapko across to Brinkman, blocked at the net. DePaul back in front. Back and forth it has been. Underwood will try to end at set point for the Blue Demons now. Iapko, now Burke. There's an attack from Briggs. And touched and out of play. Even now at 26. One team going to need to score 2 consecutive points to end the set, and that's been hard to come by in set number 3. Jones goes right at Brinkman, and it was high, but Brinkman was right in the way. She had no choice but to make a contact with the ball. And it'll be set point once again for DePaul. Right at Burke, off the serve from Kindleberger. Played back across. Kindleberger underneath. Kudiamat. And back even once again. The attack from Presley just outside the line. Anna Burke gets to try her hand at it. Burke across, Underwood, Kudiamat, Presley. Down the line, point DePaul. And I thought it was out. And that's the discussion that Liz Hart is having right now. DePaul now to serve after the conversation. Maggie Jones. Set point Blue Demons once again. Lanier, Yapko, Briggs into the block. Kudiamat. Presley going to try to end it, and she does. Set number 3 belongs to the Blue Demons. They'll change sides once again as we head to set number 4. Back here at the Stroh Center, we're getting ready to go to set number 4 between the DePaul Blue Demons and the Northern Kentucky Norse. Right now, the Blue Demons are on top, 2-1. It's been back and forth. That last set went to extra serves. The final score, 29-27. So a lot of extra points last set. We'll see if DePaul's able to mount some momentum after the set victory. Moving forward. Tori Houston going to serve for the Norse. Norse to the back, Krasowski. Brooker tried the swing. And DePaul gets the point. Underwood will start things for the Blue Demons. Just over the tape. Brinkman in the back. Swing there from Joy Banks. Banks will try again. This time just touches it over the block. Krasowski, Presley. Under it was Houston. Now Burke. Brinkman out of the back row. And it touches Underwood on its way out. 2 points exchanged, 1 apiece. Lillian Lanier now. Kudiamat. It was returned. Kanakri puts it in. So Lanier will serve once again, Northern Kentucky. Their first lead of the set coming early on this time. Presley now played over by Nagy. Houston sets up Sequoia Hunt. Off the block, out of play. Point Norse. Presley all the way over to the press table. Kept it alive. Kudiamat back to Presley, into the block. Still alive, makes it over off the tape, but out of play. Brooker trying to save it, and what an effort that time. And Presley made hard contact with the press table over here. And a timeout going to be called by DePaul. And Presley holding her hip just a little bit. We'll have to see how that develops. The Norse on top of the Blue Demons thus far, 4-1. Coming back out of the timeout. Northern Kentucky on top of DePaul, 4-1 to start the second set. And our at-home color commentator, Samantha Momeyer, said she wants DePaul to work on closing the holes in their defense and not leaving those open gaps in the floor. And for Northern Kentucky, she looks for them to continue to utilize and run with their momentum when they get it. They certainly are doing just that right now. 5-1, Northern Kentucky on top. And the Norse want to battle this thing to 5 sets and get their first victory of the season. Lanier across. Krasowski underneath it. Kudiamat comes to it. Presley slams it hard. Burke went to dig it out. It came all the way back over. Brooker into the block. Northern Kentucky has got it going on right now. The players on the floor are into it. The coaching staff's into it. The bench is into it. And Samantha was right. Got to continue to capitalize off of momentum. Along that time, so DePaul going to get a chance to break the momentum. They get 1 point, and now they'll have Kindleberger to serve. Across. Brinkman was there. Towards the net, Kindleberger again. Kudiamat. Brooker down hard. 2 consecutive points for the Blue Demons. Kindleberger over and long. We'll see if Northern Kentucky's able to pick up right where they left off before a couple of DePaul points. Sequoia Hunt over. Kudiamat set past to Presley. Tipped over the block. Nice job by Canacry to get back to it. Brooker again. Underneath of it was Houston. Across Canacry. That one long. Connie LaBelle also on the floor for DePaul right now. Sequoia Hunt across. Presley there. Kudiamat back to Presley. Into the block, and it finds the floor. Point Blue Demons. As Maggie Jones will serve again. Jones trying to help her team build out of a 4-point deficit. Canacry for the Norse. Touched over. Burke gets it. At the net, it's blocked. It actually didn't get the contact she wanted. It would have had to have been a double contact, which would have resulted in a Northern Kentucky point. Instead, it falls to the floor for the same result. Burke going to wipe up a wet spot on the floor as Yapko is going to go back to serve. Yapko across. Under it was LaBelle. Attack there from Nelson. Back the other way. LaBelle dug it out again. And up front at the net. Impressive has been the word to describe Anna Brinkman. Across again, Jones gonna set up. Jill Presley, and indeed, the touch is going to be called. So originally the point was given to the Norse, but awarded to the Blue Demons instead now. Presley back to serve. Across. Yapko finds Brinkman. Sent down at the net. It was Anna Brinkman again. 14 kills for Anna Brinkman, the highest of any player tonight. Other side, there was Nelson. Briggs tries to play it long, but too far. And out of the back, DePaul will serve once again. 11-6, Norse on top. Rachel Krasowski across. Anna Burke. Yapko. And a rare miss swing from Anna Brinkman right into the heart of the net. So Krasowski will get to stay back and serve again. Briggs right into the hands of Presley and out of the back. The Norse have not allowed the Blue Demons to creep within about 4 points this set. Berg across, Presley was there. Jones sets up Nelson, but Northern Kentucky gets another one, the block up front. Timeout going to be called. We'll take it with them. Northern Kentucky on top of DePaul, 13-7. Back here, 6-point lead for the Northern Kentucky Norse as they trail 2-1 here. Blue Demons out in front. It'll be Anna Burke back to serve. Second game of the day, second of 3. Bowling Green and Western Kentucky will take each other on after this. The attack long that time for Bailey Nelson. Northern Kentucky continues to roll. Underwood hit that one high in the back row. Brinkman brought it back down. Jones underneath of it there. Brinkman again. Yako. Still in the air, back and forth. Burke over, Jones underneath of it. There's the attack from Nelson. Yapko again, Joy Banks across and out of play. Still a 6-point Northern Kentucky lead, but the serve switches ends. Ashley Kudiamont there. Tip at the net. Kindleberger put it into the back corner. And it'll be Kudiamat again. At Joy Banks, Yapko back to Banks, blocked at the net, but out of play. Northern Kentucky changes personnel. Tori Houston gonna come back in, right to serve. 15-9, Norse over the Blue Demons. Kudiamat went to Underwood, and Underwood blocked in a big way by Abby Kanakri. Houston goes back to work with a 7-point lead. Kudiamat, Brooker touches it over. Houston sets up Sequoia Hunt. Burke able to return. Presley, Kudiamat, Kindleberger. Taylor Underwood will have another go at the serve. Northern Kentucky going to take the time to wipe up another wet spot near the floor. Not on the active playing surface, but so close that would have made a difference if there was a bit of condensation there. Kudiamat, Brooker, back to Kudiamat. Presley tried, blocked at the net. Grzowski, Underwood was blocked. Brooker touches it into the block. Kudiamat went down to get it. Presley over the block. There's Houston. Burke now. Back to Kanakri. Underwood from the back. Houston, and touchdown by Kindleberger. Timeout. No Northern Kentucky going to challenge. 16-11 Norse. We'll take another break. Back here, set number 4 between the Northern Kentucky Norse and the DePaul Blue Demons. Norse on top in this set, but trailing 2 sets to 1. Houston gonna set up Sequoia Hunt. Kudiamat on the other end of it. Jill Presley into the block. Point for DePaul. Underwood will serve again. Over and across. Brinkman was underneath of it. Banks touched not once but twice on the DePaul side before it went out of play. Northern Kentucky hangs on to that lead, 17-12. Lillian Lanier over into the back row. LaBelle was underneath of it. Returned by Kanakri is blocked at the net. An excellent combo from Presley and Kindleberger. Kindleberger will go out. Phoenix Lee will come in. Phoenix Lee over and across. Brinkman on the end of it and sends it back down. She got the set pass right back and delivered it into the back corner. The service receive for Northern Kentucky. Phenomenal here in set 4. Sequoia Hunt. And another point for Northern Kentucky. They're closing in on evening this thing back up. 6 points up here on the Blue Demons. 19-13. Hunt across. Houston. Kanakri. Brinkman again. This time blocked up front. Brooker and Oxley. Back goes Maggie Jones. DePaul rallied in the last set. Can they do it again? Northern Kentucky trying to shut that door. Katie Yapko now. Yapko across. Under it was LaBelle. Jones. Now Nelson. Back across. Oxley right there as well. The blocks go back and forth. Still on the DePaul side. Played across by Oxley. Burke forward. Set pass. Briggs. Called in. The judge looking right down at the line. Northern Kentucky in front by 7 now. Yapko across LaBelle. Jones. Presley all the way over to get it. Back and forth. Nelson now across. In once again. Up front at the net, it has been strong for Northern Kentucky. Brinkman, Briggs, and Sifke in there right now. Yapko again across. LaBelle was underneath of it. Big swing there from Jill Presley. Gets a point for DePaul. Blue Demons going to make a change. Taylor Underwood comes back in for Connie LaBelle. Jill Presley across. Yapko going to set up Briggs. Jones was underneath of it. Across. Nelson tried it. Couldn't keep it in. (23-15). Official will go over and take another look at this play. But right now, an 8-point lead for the Norse. Back here, the Blue Demons to serve, 22-16. So a reversal there. Presley played across and right into the back of Ali Sifke. DePaul's bench trying to get into it. Presley trying to give him a reason, but that one well long. Struck the ball as she was coming down out of the air. That sent the serve well high. Now at the other end, Anna Brinkman will get to do it away. 2 points away from a set victory and forcing a fifth set. It's long, just out of the back corner. DePaul inches closer. Rachel Krasowski. Krasowski into the bottom of the net. The ball never took flight out of her hands. It dove right in to the mesh. In set point for the Northern Kentucky Norse, 24-18. They're down 2-1, trying to eve it back up. Anna Burke across, Presley there. Maggie Jones, attack from Underwood, blocked at the net. It's even at 2. Northern Kentucky mounts another back and forth set victories. DePaul, Northern Kentucky, DePaul, Northern Kentucky. We're going to set number 5 coming up next. Here we go. Set number 5 between the DePaul Blue Demons and the Northern Kentucky Norse. It's been back and forth through the first 4 sets. In this one, somebody's got to win. DePaul going to start with the serve. It'll be Jill Presley. Presley across. Joy Banks underneath of it. Houston sets up on the outside. Wanted to get Abby Kanakri. She returned it across. Presley gets the first point, and even she was surprised. This set different from the first 4, not only in terms of somebody has to come away with a 3-2 victory, but this set will be played to 15. But whether you're playing to 15 or 25, when you're going back and forth every other point, that won't tend to matter. We'll see if any team can build up some strong momentum here in the early stages of set 5. Joy Banks, Tori Houston, back to Banks, right at Maggie Jones. She was able to handle it. Underwood returns, Brinkman in the back. Houston sets up Banks once again through the block. And again, the first 2 points split between the teams. That'll put Lillian Lanier back to serve for Northern Kentucky. Into the tape, just carried over. Jones, good awareness, kept her head on the swivel. And Underwood returns it right into the block and out of play. Underwood, one of 5 players in double figures in the kill department. That one, number 11. Over and across, Brinkman. She'll have to play the free ball over. Presley there, Jones, set pass, big slam, Allie Kindleberger. Rachel Krasowski gonna get to serve again. A service ace for Rachel Krasowski. And DePaul going to build a little bit of momentum. A timeout going to be called. We'll take a break, and we'll be back here at the Stroh Center. Krasowski gonna serve again following the timeout. Right now the Blue Demons are up 4-1. That one across, Burke underneath of it. A set pass from Houston to the outside, Kanakri. Underwood into the block. And it came right back at Underwood. Northern Kentucky gets the point. Sequoia Hunt now back to serve on the other side. 4-2, and what a match it's been. Bowling Green and Western Kentucky waiting in the wings to play. Coming up next, the start time obviously been pushed back from 7 o'clock as we've eclipsed that hour. These two teams still duking it out for the win. Maggie Jones, the attack long, and no, they call it in. Official says there was a touch up front. And so Bailey Nelson will get the point. Ashley Kudiamat sent over into the back row. Lanier, now Brinkman, kept alive by Krasowski. Another point for the Blue Demons. DePaul on the verge of taking over. Up 4 points. It's the largest lead we've seen in 2 sets. Maybe 3. Up front, Northern Kentucky answers back. Anna Brinkman. Katie Yapko all the way back. 6-3. At Presley. Kudiamat. Back across Lanier. Now Burke. Brinkman plays it across the floor. Presley out of the back. Blocked at the net. Allie Sifke. Katie Yamko again. The Norse have cut it to 2. Make it 3 once again, Allie Kindleberger. Allie Kindleberger turned all the way up here in set number 5. Underwood across. Lanier underneath of it. Yapko the set pass. Strong attack, touched up front. Point registered for Brinkman. Brinkman, 16 kills. Tied for the match high with Jill Presley. 7-5. Brinkman back to serve. Kudiamat to Presley, blocked at the net. Julia Nagy. The Norse have cut it all the way down to 1, approaching halfway through set number 5. Brinkman across. Krasowski underneath it. Kudiamat to Presley. That one makes it through. Another point for DePaul. And halfway through the set at 8 points, we'll switch sides. From left to right and vice versa of your screen. Serve over. Phoenix Lee. Return by Briggs. Kept alive. Presley plays it over. Brinkman there. In the heart of the floor. Briggs picking up the pieces. within one again. Burke across, Krasowski. Kudiamont. Presley just over. Good save from Banks. Played long by Briggs. DePaul clinging to the lead. Maggie Jones. Up and over with the right. Brinkman down to get it. Yapko. Banks. Called out. Liz Hart going to go right to the card. And Hart is indeed going to challenge the call. Official will go to the monitor. It's a big spot right now. With the point, DePaul would have a 3-point lead. Take the point away. We stay within one. We'll await the ruling. DePaul keeps the point. The attack from Banks was indeed out. So a 3-point lead for the Blue Demons. 5 points, all they need. The Norse just 3 points behind. Banks forward. Yapko. Briggs. Touched on the way out. NKU with the answer. In come Tori Houston and Abby Kanakri. Houston back to serve. Back across into LaBelle. Krasowski. Attack from Nelson. Houston sets up Banks off the block. It goes out. We're back to within one, 10-9. These two teams have made each other work for what's going to be somebody's first win of the season. Houston across, service error, long it goes. That'll put Jill Presley on the back line once again. The game leader in kills, 17. Across, Brinkman down to get it. Houston now Banks. The attack out of play. DePaul back up by 3. Timeout going to be called by Northern Kentucky. When we come back, we'll be back for the remainder of the set. Somebody getting ready to turn up victorious here for game 2 of the day at the Stroh Center. out of the timeout. Jill Presley to serve, a 3-point Blue Demon lead. Presley over, Banks underneath of it. Houston across, Canacry and Jones underneath. Attack there from Nelson, off the tape, touched by Nelson. The ball is going back to the Norse. Lucy Cluxton in. Cluxton just over the tape. Krasowski underneath of it. Nelson the attack at Burke. Cluxton, Brinkman. Krasowski again. Jones gonna set up Underwood. Underwood sent it high, but Cluxton was in the way. Her hands touched the ball. DePaul 2 points away from a match win. A 3-point lead over Northern Kentucky. Rachel Krasowski standing on the Bowling Green lettering in the baseline. Brinkman returns, went right at Jones, and she wasn't ready for it. Had her hands in the wrong spot. And the Norse not ready to quit just yet. Sequoia Hunt now to serve. Hunt over. Presley there. Set up and long. Back within one. And DePaul looks like they're going to challenge this ruling. Coach maybe potentially going to see if there was a touch up front. But certainly you got to throw all your cards out on the table right now, as we've only got a couple of points left to determine a winner. So if you've got the challenge, why not take a look and see if you can reverse this call, maybe suck the wind out of the sails of your opponent. Right now, a 1-point game. It would be Northern Kentucky to serve. And the official taking a look there on the monitor opposite of us here on press row. In Western Kentucky's team, we've mentioned they're playing Bowling Green. Coming up next in the Hilltoppers, they're standing right behind the Northern Kentucky bench, trying to watch the result here, this one. There will be 2 more matches tomorrow here at the Hampton Inn Invitational. Looks like the official has made up his mind. We will see what direction this is going to go. Will it stay a point for Northern Kentucky? Or will the point make it match point for DePaul? It'll stay as called. The Norse within 1. Sequoia Hunt going to serve again. Northern Kentucky trying to even it back up. Timeout going to be called by DePaul. So a chess match back and forth continues. The players from the floor will take a spot on the bench for DePaul. Other players will run the baseline and then crowd in behind. Northern Kentucky stands circled. And it does not get any more back and forth than what we've seen between these two teams in this match. DePaul, they ran away with set number 1, but after that, it's been nothing but a full-scale brawl. Point after point, back and forth, the seesaw effect, and both teams have ensured that it's going to come down to the wire. eyes on Sequoia Hunt. Hunt plays it over with the right. Presley down to get it. Underwood set up. In the back row, Hunt was there. Houston forward. Conakry tips it over the block. Northern Kentucky is tied at 13. Hunt will do it again. Can the Norse take the lead? Across, Presley again. Jones gonna set up Nelson, and DePaul responds. Back in front by 1. Match point, Blue Demons. Ashley Kudiamat. A chance to end it. Across with the right. Houston, set pass, Brinkman. Krasowski got a hold of it. Now Presley, Underwood into the block. Back down into the net, 14 all. We've got extra serves again here in set number 5. The equivalent of running a marathon, and all of a sudden, when you can see the finish line, it starts moving further and further away. That's what it's doing right now here in this match between DePaul and Northern Kentucky. Off the block, sky high. Burke underneath of it. Yatko. Underwood back into the block. Yapko again. Brinkman into the block. It falls to the floor. Northern Kentucky back on top by 1. Timeout, DePaul. It'll be the last timeout for the match. Both teams are out of timeouts, so there will not be another break. This will be the last one. We'll keep it right here. And what a match this has been. Going into extra serves, the Norse trailed for a large portion of this 5th set, but they kept themselves in it. And here they are, match point coming up next. There's the conversation between both teams. You saw Marie Zaidek and Liz Hart on the other side. Northern Kentucky breaks. They're ready to go. The Imagine Dragons being pumped in over the loudspeakers here, as Northern Kentucky. Katie Yapko will serve. Will it be the final serve? We're going to find out. Yapko over with the right hand. Presley underneath of it. Maybe misplayed a little bit. Underwood gets it across. Burke's there. Yapko sets up Briggs. All the way across. DePaul hanging on. Played back across by Underwood. Yapko, Briggs, off the block. Northern Kentucky wins it in 5. The Norse win a 5-set thriller. Their first victory of the season. And when this match took off, it looked like it was going to be all Blue Demons. Not the case. The Norse heading home with a victory on their record. 1 at least. And more action from the Hampton Inn Invitational coming up next. But right now, Northern Kentucky, a 5-set victory over the DePaul Blue Demons. Switch over now to ESPN as Bowling Green set to host Western Kentucky coming up next.